really going fast, really getting after it. And he got out there today and really wanted to be a part of it the last couple of days. So it's been fun to watch him get back. What kind of guy cuts me off? Go ahead. I'm just joking, man. Go.
Sometimes these guys have to learn a new technique. I mean, how close is his technique to what he was doing in college?
Grayson, when he played in college, we noticed the initial quickness, the movement. You notice his get off. You notice a lot of things that we covet. So he was able to do those things. So a lot of the things that we're going to ask him to do is the things that we saw on tape, the things that we require. He brought some other things to us that I seen, like some real sudden power, a couple of things he's seen in the run game today, and things of those nature. So he'll always be asked to do the things he does great. And then the things that are required based on situational football, he can do for us. And that's a lot of fun to watch when you see a young player have that kind of ability.
When you talked to us the other day, Dre Greenlaw used the term fever backer. I'm curious if can you just kind of explain what you're looking for in that position and kind of what is that in your system?
I've been making up a lot of terms since I've been here. But we got, obviously, what the traditional backers look like, stand-up guys that can move around. Those fever backers are kind of those guys that bring you, subtle changes, subtle different things. They can do different things. They can play star for you. They can play outside edge and play, sort of a big nickel. They can get a line of scrimmage. They can use their hands, do a couple of different things. We got a couple of different terms for what those styles look like and what they feel like in order to get guys lined up, in order to put them on paper. So, those guys have been doing such a good thing with some of the spinner type stuff that you've heard about. All the unique things that these guys can do. You want to find ways to use them. And we got some guys on our team. They got some real unique skill sets. So being able to use those guys, whether it be a spinner situation, a fever backer, whatever the call is, getting those guys out there so you can have those names, so you can be sharp, crisp, and be able to substitute those guys in the way you need to do it, I think is important.
Position that's like a staple, like you use it a lot, or is it kind of more specialized based on just situation?
I think that depends. A lot of the stuff is based on how you can utilize guys. A lot of stuff is based on, how you get through games, how you utilize those guys to be able to get through games, what you plan for, things you can't plan for, when you get those unexpected injuries and be able to fill people in those positions to do different things. A lot of the guys on our football team have been able to show that they're versatile, and I really love that, and that's pretty cool.
Just have a follow-up on that answer you gave about guys kind of falling into place when guys are out. When it comes to Nick Bosa, less about him specifically, but is there any concern with the time missed of him being able to catch on to all the adjustments made?
He's played a lot of football, and he's got a lot of bank reps in his history, not with just the Niners, but just in general in football. And he's a very smart, he's very unique. He's been able to be out there to get all the mental reps, to be able to do a lot of those things. He's starting to get his physical activity increase when it comes to individual and things of that nature. So just getting his body right, getting ready to play football. I feel really good about where he's going to be and what he's going to be able to do for us. He's a special player, and you plan around special players. You make sure they know you're planning around them, and he's smart enough to pick those things up and be able to go do those things at any time.
Raheem, several of your defensive backs, Jair Brown, Demo, they've come in here and said how you've let them play free. What has been your focus for them, and how have you changed what their purpose is on the field, or maybe not purpose, but direction?
It's an above the net game, and it's not just me. I'm just a guy just talking to Fred. It's all the other guys that are in that room, the Ray Browns, obviously the guys that are with those guys every day, talking to those guys, giving them the above the neck knowledge. We got a bunch of guys, Jake Lynch is in that room, Jerry Gray. You got a wealth of knowledge in that room. You got a bunch of young guys that can do things in that room. You got different ideas. You let those guys have some freedom to be able to articulate their thoughts and what they see, to be able to catapult those things, put them together, and go out there in the field and be able to execute those things. I think really helps those guys play and play fast. So I'm just fired up where they are. I'm fired up that they're competing at a very high level. I love how they feel. I love how they're going about their business. But I would not take the credit for that for myself. I think that's a credit to the defensive staff, the people out there working with those guys, and everybody, all hands on deck. The players being able to communicate at a very high level when we have our group meetings. I think that's really been helpful for all of us.
Lenore even said, we're allowed to be ourselves. Same with Renardo Green. What have you seen from them in the past that maybe has needed to be, allowed for them?
It's hard for me to talk about the past with those guys, especially based on the fact that I was so focused on the offense, going against those guys and doing different things. But being able to be here and get in the building with these guys, man, really watching them grow and develop into what I think they can become, it's been a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying it.
Dre Greenlaw being near you
Say it again?
Tired of Dre Greenlaw being near you these last couple of
I'll never get tired of Dre, but it is nice when he's out there playing as well, getting him up in the front. He's a little sore. He went through the whole process, doing the stuff that he needs to do to get back. He's eager. I know you guys see him out there in full pass today. He's ready to go. So Greenlaw is one of those guys that you like playing football, instead of being around you. But I'll never get tired of that guy. A lot of fun.
How do you think Romello Height has handled the workload that he's been allowed given the injuries at that spot?
Smart young man. He's been able to come out and been able to, always the guy you're like scared to talk about early. I'm sure for you guys, when you watch him move around in shorts, it's not real football yet. Then you got a chance to watch him in pads, and you get a chance to see his physicality and some of the things that he can do, particularly rushing the passer, setting the edge, doing all the things that he's doing. Then you get a chance to see a little bit of versatility out of him. So you're excited about his learning capacity. You're excited about his ability to go out there and play at a very high level. You're excited about the what if when he gets a chance to play with Bosa and some of those other guys like Michael that we got coming back. It's exciting. He's an exciting young player that we had a lot of hopes for, and hopefully we can meet him.
It seems like when you guys drafted him, he would be sort of a classic speed edge rusher guy, but it seemed like he's been used in more ways, and you just spoke to his versatility. How much is that part of the equation at this point in training camp? He has the speed to do that, but you could also maybe do some other things.
It was fun because you just had to talk about those things in the draft process, and John Lynch and his staff and all those guys would be able to communicate with those guys at a very high level. And obviously on tape you saw the designated pass rusher role that you can feel that you were losing potentially, that we lost from the team from the year before, so you can come in and feel some of those things. But then there was some further thoughts, some things that we could possibly do with him, whether it be fever backer, whether it be spinner, whatever it is, being able to get him out of different roles. And then you got to meet the young man to find out what his learning capacity is. Can he handle those things from a down in, down out basis? And he's done a really nice job of handling those things throughout the course of training camp. And, that's all you really can say, and then getting a chance to let him get physical and do some of those things has been fun. So we just got to keep growing, keep developing, keep getting better every single day, and get ready to play our games.
You've obviously had to plan against Brock for games in the past, but having been here 10 days or whatever it is, seeing him practice daily, and especially the last couple of days, it seemed like he's really, really been locked in. Just what have been your impressions of what's so challenging?
The Layer King has some really intensive intensity, and I like that about him. It's really fun for me when you get a chance to get some of those call-it periods, and you get a chance to go in the back with the offense, and you call your play, and then you get a chance to just hear him operate. You're listening to him, and you're able to hear him operate, and you're able to hear him operate in a very pro manner, how he communicates with the coaches, how he's very upfront. Today he got fired up, which was cool, which is fun, which is competitive, and I love that. And when he does those things, it just makes the team go. I watched our team go out there and basically have a fight for an hour and a half, and then I'll hug at the end of practice and cheer for each other. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's awesome. But it was a lot of fun with that guy. He's awesome.
Two returning starters at corner, obviously, but you also have Jack Jones, a veteran guy. You kind of know what you're getting from him. It seems like he makes a play a day out there. Where does he fit in that room?
We got a highly competitive room. We got to be out there and find out who's going to be our guys going out on an every down basis. But you never got enough good players, and Jack's certainly one of them. He has a chance to go out there and make a play. He has a chance to go out there every single day. We're going to be competing at a very high level right up until the end. Let those guys make those decisions on the field. You love that. I've always been a part of highly competitive rooms. You want highly competitive rooms. You don't want to be able to come up here and put the depth chart up right now. That probably means you're not that good. So we got a lot of spaces like that, and that's fun for me.
How difficult or easy is it for a cornerback to transition to safety? Say you want to have Stout on the field more because he likes to get in there and stick his nose in there and has ball awareness. How hard would it be to move him to safety, or Price Sock, who's a taller, rangy guy?
That all depends on demeanor. Stout can play whatever he wants. Stout can play linebacker. Stout can play safety. Stout can play corner. Right now he is our starting star. He's our starting nickel. And him going out there playing at a very high level with his hand usage, his ability to get after the pass rush, his ability to pass rush, his ability to use his short space quickness, defend anything, whether it be zone, whether it be man. Highly competitive young man. Stays angry every single day. I love him. He's got the mindset of a football player, and he's got the mentality of a football player, and he certainly has the movement and the skill set of a football player. And then to just talk about being versatile with guys, I think we kind of did that a little bit. Switched to corners with Demo and Ronaldo, made those guys go opposite, make Jack play opposite. Making those guys, whether it be Saran playing and a little bit of safety, being able to play corner, you're creating versatility across the board because you just never know what happened in the game. Demo playing inside a little bit for us the other day, being able to do some different things for us. When things happen in the game, something goes out through the course of the game, you want to be able to have an answer. And it's our job as coaches to have an answer for our head coach when something goes wrong, what we're going to do and what our plan is. It may not be the right plan, may not be the right decision, but you better have one.
Seems like you're cross-training Duggar a little bit. What's the plan for him?
I think that's kind of the theme, throughout the course of training camp. You get into camp, you put people in positions, you let them grow, you let them learn, you let them get comfortable, and then you find a way as a coach to make them uncomfortable. And then that really breeds understanding, and that really lets you know how these guys are really understanding the whole entirety of the defense, what their brothers are doing, what their people are doing around them. This game is played from the neck up. Plays are made when, opportunity and technique meet. And if you can just take the opportunity and technique and put it together at that position where you're there and be where you are, be where your feet are, I think that's the best course of action for our guys.
Read it totally wrong, but similar to what you were just asked. With Jordan Watkins, I saw him taking some rips with the defense here after the 11-on-11 drills. I don't know exactly what was going on. Is he also being?
Yeah, it'd be new to me, but I'll take him.
It's like, wait, okay.
Could preseason or going up against another team be for somebody like Prysock?
That is huge. So funny. He must have been walking the hallway with me the other day. I was just talking about that, like these rookies, right? You get in a training camp, and it's like this moment that they play, and they kind of feel like they belong, and you start to feel it in practice. Right? The other day, we seen him make a couple plays, knock down pass, get excited, team get excited for him. And then you kind of get that sad face off, and I belong, and then it's like, I can't wait to get to the next practice and be able to go out there and compete. But then you really see it when you get in those competitive moments with people they don't know. And when you get into that practice of whether it be a joint practice next week versus Tennessee, or whatever the case may be, if we get another one versus LA, or whether it be one of the preseason games, you get a chance to see that step. And you see those guys make those steps, like I just remember some of the young safeties that I coached, they've gotten to position to make the play and never could make it in practice. And then they get in the game and they just miss it. Then they get in the game and they finally start making them. And then they become guys. And those are the steps you want to see made by your young rookies. It's just a matter of how fast they can do those things before you got to make those decisions on who's on the football team.
Is there any time in the offseason or even preseason think about what Sean McVay is thinking about, what Raheem Morris is thinking about, what Sean McVay is thinking?
That would be every day, Coach. That's constantly going through your mind, right? Being a familiar face in that building and kind of knowing what those guys do, but knowing they're going to bring their very best every single time they go out there. They get better and better every single year. You got to be able to go out there and plan for some of that type stuff, along with finding out who's going to make your football team. And that time will come, when you sit down in the room and you go plan things, and you got to go out there and play that game, which is the most important part of what we do. But that time will come. But it's definitely time to do those things. You always think about those things. You have those moments throughout the course of the summer. You have those moments throughout camp. You have those moments as you put in more situational football and you tie it in together and create some similarities what you can do when you play those people, so you can have carryover for you guys to make it simple. Thanks, guys.
Hello. How we doing? Good.
Was just talking about Brock at practice. He likes to call him the Layer King. Do you call him that as well?
The Layer King? I like that. Kind of like a Lizard King or something. Yeah, Brock does a good job of that. I think Raheem, he's had some issues with that in the past. People, quarterbacks in the NFL doing that, so maybe he has some scars.
How did you feel so far about training camp?
Good. I like training camp. I think it's good just to get around all the guys, and it's never going to be perfect. I like the season a lot better. It's what I'm really good at is preparing for games and being ready to go in there at any time. And training camp is fun because it's a lot of challenges and different unscouted looks and things that you don't normally see. So I think it's a good challenge, and I don't think training camp tells you how your season's going to go, but I think it's good to have mistakes, but also good plays too. So you can never overreact or underreact to it. Not that it's not important, but I really enjoy the games, you know.
How different is this defense that you're going against from a schematic standpoint?
Yeah, it's pretty different. I played against Raheem last year, you know, as the quarterback and against the Falcons, so I'm kind of familiar with it, and what he did in LA. So there's a little bit of everything in that regard, and a lot more match coverage, so the throws are a lot more contested. I'd say that's some teams in the league play that way, but a lot of teams don't now. So it's kind of an interesting balance. But yeah, it's been a good challenge. They bring a lot of pressure too on third down, so it's a little different than what we've been used to. But I think they're doing a great job over there. I like Raheem's personality. He has a good personality, and I don't know. It seems like a good coach you'd want to play for.
I know he's missed a couple days here, but with Stribling, is there just a combination of size and speed that he has that where you're kind of getting both that you maybe didn't have in the receiver room even last year or this year?
Definitely. Yeah, I call him the flying Hawaiian because he's so fast. But he definitely is fast. But some guys, they can be really quick, but they're not as strong. So he has both. I don't have a comp for him yet, but I think he'll be a really good player. And obviously, got a chance to throw to him in the off season a little bit, like when we went to Nashville and stuff. And I don't know, just the way he got to the ball when it's in the air was impressive. He has like a second gear when the ball's in the air. Some guys are really fast, but when the ball goes up and your eyes go up, you slow down. But he doesn't do that, so it's pretty impressive. And we've got a few guys that are like that, Jordan Watkins, and obviously Mike Evans is one of the best at it. So you want to have guys like that. And speed is good, but you want ball speed where the ball's in the air, they don't slow down. So he has that.
You said you like Raheem's personality. What stands out to you about just that personality and just how he carries himself?
He's awesome. I think he doesn't take the game too seriously. I think that's important. Obviously, it's a very serious game, but you want to also have fun with it, and he's going to talk smack. And, when he gets beat, he kind of just rolls it off his shoulder because he knows there's the next play. So I really like his personality in meetings. I walk by him every day and talk crap to him and stuff. So he's definitely been a head coach, and I think he's trying to find his feet, back here. And I feel like he'll be back in the head coaching spot soon.
How are you adjusting to the other targets in the wide receiver room? Obviously, new faces out there. You spoke on Stribling, but with him being out and Evans also being out the last few days, how are you adjusting to the other guys? Yeah, it's been interesting. I think it's good. I think everyone's kind of a melting pot of people, and we got young guys and old guys, and like you said, Christian, Mike, and Stribling weren't out there, but it's good for these young guys to step up and make plays, and I need to do a better job getting them the ball and letting them show what they can do. But I feel like they've all flashed in different ways, like even Junior Bergen, like going out there knowing what to do, playing fast, all that stuff. So there's a long list of guys. I could go through each one of them, but I've been impressed with their work ethic, and our system is complex, so I'm not expecting them to get it in one day or 1 week or even 1 month. It takes all the way through the season because our game plans are very different each week, and that's the challenge, is being ready for that.
What have you seen from Jordan Watkins last year compared to this year? I know you worked with him.
Yeah, I think I really like Jordan. He's one of my good buddies on the team, and he's always got a good attitude. He just goes out there and runs fast, and with us, we're very similar because we're hard on ourselves. So, like, if he has a bad play, I always try to, go up to him and be like, hey, play the next play. It's all good. Similar with me, if I have a bad play, I want him to do the same, and we kind of have that relationship. So for him, it's just playing that next play as best he can, and he's done a better job of that this training camp, and he's really fast and has a lot of talent and has played in a lot of big-time football in college. So that he has what it takes to be really good.
You guys have talked about not really missing a beat in veteran locker room, dealing with not having your head coach, but has it been weird? What's it been like for you guys sort of adjusting to what Kyle's been going through and that whole process?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good challenge in its own way. I think everything will be fine and great in the long run, but nothing's been too different. I feel like this organization is run very smoothly, whether Kyle's at the top or somebody else. I think he set it up that way. So really, he's been out there. He's been talking to us. So I'm hopeful that he can recover all the way. And for us, it's just keep battling every day. It's camp. We're kind of getting to that middle part, and then we'll get to the exciting parts, playing in the games and stuff. But as a team, I feel like the energy's there. And like you said, we got a lot of good old guys on this football team. Not old, but older. I guess I'm approaching that area. But I think it's good. I think you want those guys in this season. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to – maybe we don't start great or we do. It doesn't matter, but you want that head leadership to be there, and that's Kyle and all the veteran coaches and then all the veteran players that have been through a lot of seasons.
How different is it having Clay in your ear during practice, though, and just in terms of not even just the play calls, but the feedback that you get versus what you get from Kyle?
Yeah, it's good. I think Clay, sometimes he mumbles a little bit, so I'm just trying to hear what he says. But no, he's amazing. He does a great job, and like just getting us ready for practice. Right now, it's just hard because like we don't have like an exact call sheet, so it's like you have the whole library of plays and just trying to hear like, did he say that? Like, is that a play we're gonna run? So I need to do a better job there. But like Clay's called a lot of plays, in the preseason and obviously during the season too. He's gotten a chance to call some games, so he has really good experience and he's a very good coach. He's clear when he stands in front of the team about what he wants. And like today, he called us up during practice, and the beginning of practice was like, hey, he kind of felt like a little bit of an energy lull, and Clay was like, let's get this going. So as players, like I need to respond better to that, but I think we did overall as a team. Like we made some big plays today, so that was just a good example of like he is good X's and O's, but he's also really good with like how he talks to the team too. So you want to have both.
We're still hearing Kyle a lot more though, right? Like he's standing closer to the team behind the offense, and
he's inching towards us. Yeah, he is. Wait, what was your question?
Are you just hearing his voice a lot more, the pointers, after plays and things like that?
Yeah, Kyle's always been involved, and I'd say like compared to other teams I've been on, just very, as a head coach, it's obviously his offense and he understands it all, and I think he wants us to take it to the next level of like, how can we get this even better? So he's always voicing things and asking us, and not necessarily telling us, like asking us, hey, do you think you can get this done? And we either can or we can't, but that's the whole point of training camp, is to try. And during the season, it's completely different. Like he's in all the meetings and has a chance to sit down at our quarterback room, and we go through each play and the problems and all that. So he does a great job. He's still doing a great job of that. Just training camp is, like I said, it's more of a widespread net versus like one individual game plan.
The meetings with you guys yet?
Yeah, he's been around. He's doing a good job. Like I said, recovering. I don't know. You'd have to ask him how he feels overall, but I feel like he's doing normal Kyle stuff.
You're getting a play call that's going to be a deep shot, a deep throw. Do you get excited to air it out, because obviously the fans that are in attendance saw some today?
Yeah.
Do you get that as well?
No. I don't really get excited. I think like you have to play each play, and like during the games and stuff, if you have too high of a pulse, it's sometimes a bad thing. And I don't know, deep balls in practice are fun, but sometimes it's not realistic, I guess. So you have to just play it as a real play. Like there was one today, I had a chance to throw it deep, I had to move and then threw an interception. So it's like that messes up the timing of the play. So you just have to play each play how it is. But my goal is to just try and get it to the right read. And yeah, I say lower your pulse, whether it's a screen pass or a Hail Mary. You can't get too excited or not excited, because sometimes that puts too much zip on the ball or whatever. Everyone's different, but yeah.
How much of a difference do you sense with Dre being back there with Fred?
Oh yeah, definitely feel the defense and their energy. And you got Raheem yelling random stuff in the background. So yeah, it's quite the challenge. I don't know if he'll be able to stand on the field on game day, but Fred is obviously our main guy, and Dre's been out there too, and Wallow's done a great job, and Giff. So we got a lot of veteran guys that played a lot of football, but I think those are definitely the energy makers over there. Stout too, like Stout's one of my favorite guys. He is who he is. He's not going to change in practice today. Like he gets chippy, and he wants to just make plays.
Difference in Renardo Green's play this year?
Yeah, I do. I think Nardo went through some things last year, or whatever, like you want to call it, and he's a pro though. He came back and he's played his technique really well. He's made a lot of contested plays, him and the Hyena. And then Jack Jones too, who I'd played with in the past. Like those guys are all aggressive corners. I feel like there's a lot more plays being made on the ball compared to last year, which is a good thing. Just contested plays. So they've done a great job over there, and I'm excited to see them in a real game and see what it looks like.
Was he more vocal in practices than Robert Saleh was?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Saleh's pretty chill. Like he would just stand back there and look all strong and stuff. And then Raheem, like maybe not as strong looking, but definitely like a louder voice. But yeah, they're very similar, and schematics are obviously different, but they're both great coaches. So, all right, cool. Thanks guys.
Different wise. I mean, it's the same play calls, same plays, so I wouldn't say it's nothing different. Just being able to, showcase a little bit more of my talent.
More comfortable in it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Being my second year, yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable.
So you were here last season. Here you have Mike Evans in the room with you and Deebo Samuel. Does the room feel any different this time around than it did last year, and if so, how?
No, it feels the same. Guys coming here, guys leave. I think those guys come in ready to compete, trying to make plays, trying to help the team win.
You were one of the few wide receivers who didn't get hurt last year in the summer, but then you had to serve the suspension. Did you feel like that kind of interrupted the flow that you had going on in the summer when you came back?
No, not really.
You had a different quarterback, I think. I mean, it went from Brock Purdy to Mac Jones. I mean, was that problematic for you at all?
No, sir.
Can you take us back to the start of free agency when you had a number last year and you guys signed Mike Evans? How did that conversation go as far as you relinquishing that number?
With Mike? He was just asking for number 500. I ain't matter to me. It's just a number, so he can have it.
You guys go back pretty far, right? Like
who?
You and Mike Evans.
I only met Mike this year.
Oh, did okay.
Yeah.
Strong training camp thus far, and obviously there's been more opportunities too with some people being injured and whatnot. What's your mindset, and have you done anything different in the offseason approaching this year's training camp?
No, same thing. Try to get better, come back better than I left last year. Come back, try to help the team win.
Like Renardo Green and Deommodore Lenoir have been excited about Raheem's scheme. What have you seen different from those two guys when you're out there against them?
They look a lot more comfortable. I said they definitely been playing a little bit better to my eyes. Like I would say towards their technique as much as so last year. So I feel like they feel more comfortable. They feel good inside their scheme, and to me, it look like they well on point right now.
A couple plays yesterday in practice today where the ball's in the air and you're going to the right spot. Like there was a throw yesterday, Brock probably couldn't see you, but he threw to the spot. I mean, how much is that instilled in you as a receiver that you have to hit that landmark, and like what kind of details has Kyle kind of emphasized over the last year that you've been here with him?
I think that's on every team. You got to get the timing down with the quarterback, and sometimes the quarterback is expecting you to be in a spot when he can't see you in that spot. So he trusts you to get to that spot in certain plays, and that's why we go through training camp, OTAs, and stuff like that, just to get that timing and route running down so we could be on point.
Do you feel like you got that trust with Brock now over the years?
I think so. I hope so.
In the offseason coming into training camp?
Just training, working, trying to come back better and faster than I did last year.
Have you noticed Brock taking any steps in your eyes in terms of just how precise he is or anything like that this camp?
Seemed like the same Brock to me.
Anything else, guys? All right, cool. Thanks, you, bro.
Appreciate it.
We're going to have Alfred Collins coming in, too.
it been getting reintegrated into the team and into some of the workouts?
It's been awesome. It's been a blessing. It's been a journey, and just to be back on the field with the boys, it's so much fun. I love it. Yeah.
What do you sense different from Raheem Morris versus last year?
Just the energy he brings. From the first meeting we have, he's just energetic. Gets us going. It's just infectious, and it makes you just want to play harder. So.
How big of a process did you have to go through to getting the shoulder repaired, and just were you anticipating what it was going to be like, and when did you initially hurt it?
I knew this offseason was going to be huge. Just making sure my body's in the best shape it can be for this 18 weeks. But no, I was just very intentional. Listen to the staff, the strength staff. Everybody that helped me, the dietitianist, all that. So. Just wanted to make sure I was in the best shape as I can for the season.
You have to deal with that shoulder a lot your rookie year?
I mean, it's football, you get nicks and knacks, so, you got to play through it, so, yeah.
You were able to make huge plays for the Niners last season and played quite a bit out there with them. When you come into your second year in training camp, what's the difference given that all the experience you got in game time action, but then the difference of training camp rookie year, training camp second year?
I feel like just from going through training camp last year, I was a little stressed and stuff like that. Everything's new, it's intense. But this year, just taking a step every day, not being too hard on myself, but being hard on myself. Not getting too high, not getting too low. Not getting too high, not getting too low. So, I feel like that's the biggest difference from last year.
The difference with the adjustments being made to the defense, a lot of guys saying, in different ways that the new defensive schemes are giving the team energy, excitement, it's fun. How is it for you?
It's just whoop the guy in front of you's butt, you know what I'm saying? Like, go, attack. We got each other's back. I know the assignments that Fred and Dre got, so just learn the whole defense. It's just like a puzzle piece. God damn, bro. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Yeah. All right, yeah, that's it, though.
Osa and Grayson Halton are new in your group. So what do you see of each guy? How would you describe Osa and how would you describe Grayson?
Osa, he's a leader in our room. Me too, me and myself, and everybody, we're just sponges to each other, They see something, they give us advice. If I see something, and then Grayson, he's just a sponge, man. He's been working his butt off, getting better every day, and I'm excited to see what he does.
What were your goals working with the nutritionists over the offseason?
Just eating healthier, like getting lean out, so I can be faster, more explosive. Just limiting, just eating right.
When you're on the field?
Yes, I do. Yes.
You're a good compliment to Osa, just the kind of duo that you guys will have in the middle this year.
You said what?
Compliment, like do you kind of do different things? You kind of play off of each other.
Oh, for sure. That's just gonna come with reps and getting to feel each other's play. But I feel like we're gonna be good. We're gonna be all right.
Is your role different in this defense compared to last year?
Stop the run, get to the quarterback. Not really.
In terms of position, like nose and 3 tech and that type of stuff.
Play everything. Yeah.
From Osa?
Man, his work ethic is something I've never seen before. So it inspires me to do more. Like, he's been in the league for a while now. He's in here longer than anybody, So, it's inspiring to me, So I'm picking up what he's doing, and even on the field, just his effort and attention to details. It's infectious to me and the D-line group.
How have you and CJ felt coming into your second year?
We're excited. We're excited. It's my dog, my hand bandit. We ready to wreak havoc.
He's being in close contact with Michael as well.
Yeah. He's doing good. Yeah.
Emotionally.
He's doing great.